Hey, so about my last video about being an intro to my channel, and I said I was going to be posting Five Nights at Freddy's and Spider-Man. Haven't really started on those videos. So I guess I'm kind of gonna be just doing random videos where I don't have to edit as much and they're just talking about my day or just boredom, I guess. It is currently 11:05 p.m. July 5th. Yesterday was July 4th. Yes. Yesterday was 4th of July, and it was kind of cool. My sister's boyfriend had bought himself and me a sword that lights up as a firework, and it was really fun because, well, it's like you light it up and the tip would just light up, and it just, maybe I can out edit it in here, but yeah. Then we had water balloons, which was fun, and actually was nice since I wasn't burning in the heat because I live in the desert. I'm hoping this microphone is working. I bought it because it's 11 right now. I don't want to be waking up anyone. I'm currently whispering, so I'm hoping everything you hear is sounding nice because I'm too lazy to check later. Oh, so yeah, you're probably seeing the Mickey Mouse headlight thing that I'm using. I don't have a good setup. You currently are being held up by a unicorn phone stand on the edge of my computer. I'm innovative. July has kind of started off rocky, and I don't know what to do because I currently don't have that many friends, and I'm bored most of the time. So most of my time are coming up with YouTube ideas that I don't follow through with, but I do have plans, and maybe if my brain lets me, I can actually go through with them and film them. Oh my god, the glare on my glasses. Fun fact, these aren't real glasses. They're just blue light glasses because my eyes get really red when there's too much light in my eyes. Another update, I guess, is that my computer is an all-in-one PC, which is terrible if you want to be streaming and playing video games, but you work with what you got, and I recently bought Minecraft because I forgot my old account from when I was in 3rd grade because that was the last time I played it, and it runs on 4 gigabytes of RAM, and that is all my computer has. So now I have to buy more RAM so I can put it into my computer and hopefully ask for help so I can do it and not fuck up my computer, but that's an issue for future me. My dog sucks. Maybe I'll just be posting more of these, just talking about either my day or my week or just when I'm bored. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about YouTube in my brain, and it's like a mix of, I have so many ideas that it's overwhelming that it just fogs my brain, and it also just is like an excitement because I'm really excited about how this will go, and hoping it does well. But it's also kind of weird because I am very socially awkward. So I don't know how to talk to other people other than, and you would think because it's a camera, I'm talking to my phone camera right now, that it would be easy, but it's not, because I know realistically in my brain that this is gonna go to people, and I don't know how that's gonna come out, how people will perceive me, but I have no control over that. So let's just hope for the best. I cleansed myself with an egg because a lot of shit has been happening. Actually, speaking of which, that's another thing. I wake up this morning to find out that my card got a payment of like $5 from Amazon for like 1 in the morning. I was asleep by then, so that couldn't have been me. I don't have Amazon Prime or anything, or have any like prepaid stuff for Amazon, so that wasn't me. I asked my mom as well, because sometimes they take money from my sister's or my account or my dad's account to pay for her Amazon Prime, and it wasn't her. So now I currently ordered myself a new card and had to change my PIN, which is good for me because I'm bad at saving money. Well, correction, I can save money, but it's like the my mindset and like, I don't, why do I need to save money when I could have this thing? Like, I'm sure if I have my own apartment and everything, it'll be a different idea because I actually need to pay for stuff. But me, it's like, I already have a roof over my head and internet and food, so I don't really have to worry that much. It's just more about personal items. And plus, trust me, there's not much I'm getting with the $20 allowance from my parents either way. And most of you, get a job. Why do you think I'm doing YouTube? I can't drive. In America is a car-driven area. You need a car to get around, and I can't drive, and no one has tried showing us. Either way, my anxiety gets really bad when I'm driving. I'm so focused on trying not to crash in one thing that I end up almost crashing into another thing. So I know, probably get over that, but I don't have time for that right now. And then pretty soon my brother's gonna be homeschooled, and he might need help with school, and I'm the smart one, so. But I don't mind. I like helping with science and history stuff. Again, there's no really pinpoint like idea of what I'm talking about. It's just rambling. You want to hear me ramble on for a while, just put me in the background as you're doing whatever that is, if you guys are listening.
Imagine your dream home setup. I bet you're thinking about beautifully crafted items I cook.
I guess these would be more my laid back, chill videos, because I don't know what to talk about. But also, I'm too lazy to do actual things, or I don't have the materials right now to do the actual videos. So you work with what you got and you post whatever you can, I guess. It was something that you would watch, and I know I would watch a lot of people ramble about random stuff, because I also ramble on about random stuff. What can I do? It's already a 10-minute video from here, but I feel like you guys deserve something. I was planning on doing a story time teacher thing. I mean, I guess we can do that. So get ready for that. Let me just get myself associated. I'm going to be talking about all my bad experiences with teachers. Some of them aren't as bad, like that it's like a defining thing of the teacher, but it's just I have bad experiences with a lot of teachers. Disclaimer. Of course, I know being a teacher is hard, especially the pay. It sucks. But also doesn't give you an excuse to be an asshole sometimes. Like, god damn, I did not deserve some of the trauma I had in elementary school with them. I guess one thing to kind of use is that as a student, I was a good student. I was a fairly well student with my faults. I was a good student, just as my mom loved saying, is that I'm smart, just very lazy. But my mindset was like, why do I want to learn a bunch of stuff that I already know? So I didn't really try that hard. Also, I didn't really like reading at first. I started liking reading in 7th grade. So there was one thing. And also another issue is that in elementary school, I was actually an extrovert person. I talked a lot, and I got in trouble a lot for talking a lot. Surprising, actually. But yeah, I talked a lot when I was younger. My mom always jokes around saying that I was a really good student. So like when we have parent teacher conference, they would be like, she's such a good student. That mouth though, she talks a lot. Freaking. My mom said that my teacher was those type of teachers who would try to enforce independence, like at a young age, like to force a kid to be independent, which I get, because I mean, you don't want a kid to be dependent on their parents all forever. But I was 4. Like, come on, lady, a 4-year-old trying to be an independent. A good defining memory I have from this teacher though is that there would be like times where like, oh yeah, you were good for a whole week, or you're good from being outside. I don't remember exactly. It was like a reward system where it was like, oh yeah, you did this, good, you get a pretzel, and we were all in a line, and whoever got a pretzel was a good student and was doing good. But as I was in line, she told me, you don't get a pretzel, and she told me to walk out. I don't even remember what I did. Probably talked a lot, but everyone else got a freaking pretzel and I didn't. I held a grade. 2nd grade was the worst time that my mom actually had to go talk to the principal. How do I start? My brother has SPD, so, but when I was younger, we weren't really sure because he was just born. He was like 2 or 3, and we were trying to figure out what was going on with him, basically. And since he couldn't talk, he was nonverbal for a bit. We learned sign language a little bit, like basic sign language, and I guess in that class there was a book in one of those literature books that we get in elementary that talking about how we like talking, I guess it's like a deaf kid story, like a kid talk. That sounds really bad. Like a book talking about a deaf kid. And I told my teacher, like, oh, I think that's what my brother has, because we're learning sign language. Because how old are you when you're 2nd grade? whatever, like my 6, 7 brain connected, I guess, the sign language that I'm learning at home and the sign language in the book was like, oh, my brother must be deaf then, because my mom was also saying that, I don't know. And my teacher was like, so can he answer if you call his name? I'm like, yeah, he turns his head. And she's like, well, then he must be spoiled then, and he's not deaf. And I'm like, even if that was true, it's not your place to be saying that to a child. Like, oh yeah, your brother's just asking for attention, that's why he's not talking. That's strike one. And then strike two is that another, again, a point system where it's like there was each student had like 4 sticks. Green was like a warning, I guess, if I remember correctly. No, 2 greens were like warnings, like a verbal warning. And then yellow was a call to the, like a email to your parent. And then the red was just like direct to the principal's office. And that day was like a library day, and I tried getting a Goosebumps book, and this one's kind of on me also, but my brain, I guess, didn't see that the, like with the Goosebumps title font, I didn't realize that the Goosebumps was in Spanish. So as she's rushing everyone like, come on, we need to leave, we need to leave, we need to leave, I was like, wait, I forgot, I didn't realize the book was in Spanish. Can I go get another book real quick? And she's like, she started like raising her voice at me in the library, saying that, how did I not realize that it was in Spanish? And then she told me when we go back to class to take away a stick. And by then I guess I had lost both green sticks, or one of the green sticks. And she told me that, so when I got to class, she had told me that I need to take away my stick, which was the yellow one, that it was already time for me to get a call from my parents. So she called my parents for that. Imagine how mad my mom was when she found out I was in trouble because I misread a book that was Spanish instead of English. That, and then I guess another time was she complained to my mom because I was using too many tissues. I was sick. I don't know what she expected of me. So my mom, being a petty queen that I learned from, she sent me with tissue boxes and told me to keep them in my desk. And she said to tell my teacher that, or she told my teacher, don't remember exactly, but she told my teacher that so that way I'm not using too many tissues, that I have my own box of tissues. And one of the most traumatic stories that I'm gonna tell you right now is that I was in, I'm not sure, maybe it was a stupid thing when I was younger, but if you guys had also like reading today is February something of this day, tomorrow we have this, tomorrow is this day, like it was like the calendar where like there was a student pointing at what the date was and everything with the teacher on the other side and everyone just talking. I was really excited because it was my turn. There was nothing important now that I look back at it, but my brain was really excited that I was gonna be standing, pointing at the date and everything. But we had just came back from lunch and I had to go to the restroom, and my teacher's like, you had enough time to go to the restroom in the lunches room when it was lunchtime. And she didn't let me go to the restroom. And I was about to pee myself, basically. And as I'm pointing for things and I'm literally dancing, she kind of like raises her voice a little bit at me, like, stay still. So I stay still, and as I'm pointing at things, and the whole class is looking at me, I'm pointing and I can't hold it anymore. So I pee my pants right there as everyone is looking at me. To the point even my guy friend at the time that I was sitting next to, he was like,
The realities of modern life make it tougher than ever to maintain a healthy diet.
very embarrassing. My mom was very upset. She called the principal and had a meeting with her, and then I had to talk to the principal about all the stuff that I had to go through. She made the teacher apologize to me, and the next year she would quit, and she wasn't a teacher anymore. And my mom still sees her around in town, and that teacher cannot look my mom in the eyes at all, or me in the eyes. My mom enjoys it. In 6th grade, or another time where my mama bear came out. Well, my mom's mama bear came out? Is that correct way of saying that phrase? Hang on. This wasn't the time that my mom came, like my mama bear came out. But this was an issue. I love this teacher, but this situation made my trust and likeness for this teacher go down very low. It was my GT teacher, I guess, and we had a historical, we had to make a historical physical thing about that historical event. I chose Salem witch trials. That can probably be a time for a story for another time. But we had to, I think it was the last day, so we had to throw away everything, all the materials that we didn't use or take it home. And my teacher had yelled out saying that whatever is left over, whatever material is left over, will be thrown away. I was like, okay. And at that time, I had a water bottle that I was obsessed over. Obsessed. There was nothing really special about it except it just had Spider-Man on it. And I loved that water bottle so much. Mainly because I had Spider-Man, my sister had Iron Man, and my brother had Captain America. But I loved it because it was Spider-Man and it held up quite a bit of water. And it had my name on it, right on the side. And I had left it in that class. And I was like, oh, I forgot about it. But I kept forgetting about it when it was lunchtime. And so at the end of the day, I was like, oh, I'll just get at the end of the day since my last class is nearby. So I went to go get that water bottle. You know what the bitch did? You know what she did? She threw it away. She fucking threw it away. And I was like, but why did you throw it away? And she was like, I told you whatever was left over was gonna be thrown away. I was like, I understand that, but it had my name on it, so I figured you wouldn't. And also, it wasn't a material thing. It wasn't like used for the project, and it had my name on it. So I just figured that. And she was like, no, you should have learned. You should have listened, and you would have. And I was like, so I had to walk back to my mom's. I had to walk back to my mom's car as she was picking me up. And I never told her because I was scared that she was gonna get mad at me because I was scared she was gonna get mad at me because it was thrown away. And it was trash day that day for the school, so that was long gone. And I never got that water bottle back, and it makes me so upset to this day because it was one of my favorite water bottles, and it had, mainly because it had Spider-Man on it, but it was still like, it was mine. It had my name on it. She had no right to throw it away, I guess. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the one that, I'm gonna take my glasses off so it affect different glare. Now this is the story where my mom got very upset. It was my algebra class, and well, it was my math class, but since I was in GT, I had to take algebra, which was bad for me because I'm so bad at math. But I was doing fairly well, I guess. But there was a time we were doing an assignment, and I was finished with my assignment, and she wanted us to stay quiet, and everyone was quiet, and I was kind of bored. I couldn't talk to anyone, so I was bored, so I drew on my paper, and as she was walking by, she did a as she was looking at my paper, snatched the paper from my desk, and then she told me to stand up and then walk to the phone, and as everyone's quiet, so it's quiet, this lady just gasped and tells the student to rise, and as she's dialing the phone to call my mom, it's not answering, of course, I guess. I don't know why my mom didn't answer. My mom says she's happy that she didn't answer, because she usually answers all the time, but she was happy that she didn't that one time, because she would have went off. But my teacher had yelled into the phone saying, "I just caught your daughter drawing on her paper, and I would just like to let you know that if I catch her drawing on her paper again, she will get a referral." And then she hung up. Miss Girl was about to fucking give me a referral for drawing on my paper. I was drawing my fucking dog. I drew my dog. That's all I did. It wasn't like I drew something bad. I drew my dog. I fucking drew my dog. And it wasn't even a good sketch. It was just yeah. My mom called the counselors and principals, and I basically got demoted, but it was fine because I was struggling. I had a 52 in that class, if I remember correctly, but I think I was absent for a bit. But yeah, because I was failing that class, and it didn't help that she was just really angry. She was like a very angry teacher, but a lot of people liked her, and I was like, she kept yelling at me. And yeah, so she threatened my mom, she threatened me with a referral if I kept drawing on my papers. Didn't know that was drawing my dog was punishable by referral. So they moved me from algebra to, I guess, the normal math classes, and I was actually doing better there. And I ended up leaving that school, which that could probably be a different story. I ended up leaving that school and went to a different one, which led to just me. There's nothing really bad that happened at that school with any teachers. Trust me, bad things happen at that school, but it wasn't because of the teachers. Partially, but not completely. Yeah, that was just the only negative thing I guess I could say is my 7th grade teacher didn't know how to explain math to everyone, so the only complaint I have. Hydration. Oh shit, I forgot to mention this. In 5th grade, when I forgot to mention, when I was in 5th grade, well, let's just say from a really young age, I've always worn beanies. And not because, it was partially because of the style, I guess. I really liked beanies growing up. But I guess you could partially say that it was because my mom says growing up I was really prone to getting ear infections. So what I had to do was I would wear beanies a lot, so it would cover my ears and protect me from getting ear infections. So yeah, and I had different characters. I had a Rainbow Dash one. I still have a Toothless and Stitch one. And Sonic. I can probably get Sonic right now. Yeah. I've returned with many beanies that I found. Apparently that I have more than I thought I did. Okay. So let me get you situated because I'm not going to be able to hold the mic and show everything. You're going to be standing on my skincare shit. Anyways. This is Stitch because growing up my favorite movie was Lilo and Stitch. It used to have little wires in here so they could like stick up, but they would end up poking me, so I took them out. Wasn't a good idea because now they look Also note that I stopped wearing beanies junior year of high school. So freshman and sophomore year, I was known as the girl who had the who would always wear the Jughead beanie. Gotta live up to the have you seen me without this hat? No, that's a weird thing. I'm a weirdo. I lived up to that. And those who know. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. And then I should, since the new Sonic season 2 is gonna come out. I wore this to the first Sonic movie. Don't remember what. I think I wore it to the second movie. But yes, my brother has Shadow, even though he's more like Tails than Shadow. But my sister acts more like Shadow, so there is a current dispute between my sister, me, and my brother. Because on Netflix, I have my profile picture as Jinx from Arcane. And my brother has Tails and my sister has Shadow. They are trying to tell me to change it to Sonic. And I don't want to because I have an emotional attachment to Jinx's character, but like aesthetically it would look nice if I had Sonic, and also because I'm always claiming the blue character title, so it would only be fair, but technically it's still being a blue character if I'm Jinx. But we're getting off topic. These are the more festive type of hats that I have. I have this Rudolph one, which I really liked. I have another one. I had another one with, it was like Clarice, if that's her. I don't remember. Clarice. Maybe I'll probably edit the picture here. But Clarice from Rudolph, the girlfriend. I had that one, but I didn't wear it as much. I wore this one more. And now for my mom's favorite one. It's a Christmas tree and it jingles. I have way more beanies. I have a Jack Skellington one. But yeah, we got off topic. Point is, I have a shitload of beanies. So my mom would want me to wear them all the time so I could prevent myself from having ear infections. But there was this, well, not this one teacher, but I had a teacher who just hated the fact that I would always wear my beanies, and she would tell me to take it off indoors, which I mean, understandable, but my mom didn't want me to get an ear infection and miss more days of school. So she took away my beanies, and the day I think she took away like 2 beanies. I had a Minecraft one. Anyways, I think my mom was kind of realizing I came home without my beanie, and she was like, "What happened to your beanie?" And I told her my teacher took it away because I wasn't allowed to have it anymore, like to have it indoors. My mom's like, "Well, yes, but it's really cold. It's been very cold recently. You need to wear it because we don't want you to get an ear infection." And I'm like, she took my, I don't want to tell you, she took my beanie. And it was my favorite beanie at the time. It was just like a black one, and it had like little beagle, like little point, and it had Jack Skellington's face on it. And so she took it away, and needless to say that my mom talked to the teacher, the principal, and I could wear my beanie. My mom's a good Karen. My mom's a good Karina. I have one more bad teacher story. This one was freshman year in high school. I love this teacher, but what he did was kind of it was a pretty minor thing, but it was just like ill. It still sucked that day, but it's a pretty minor thing. It was like a competition to whoever got something the most of something, or whoever got something correct. It wasn't my math class, so it was a big achievement for me because I did something good in math. But yeah, so as I did something actually pretty cool in math, he was like, "I'll buy you whoever the pizza of any topping that they want." And me, my favorite food is pizza. I am known as the pizza queen. So I got excited and I actually did good, and I deserved the pizza. And like, you just have to pick it up at lunch the next day, I think. And the next day, I mean, not everyone's gonna remember. It was like, I don't know, not everyone remembered. Until I didn't remember until like my last class, and I was like, oh shit, I was supposed to pick up my pizza, and I never did. So as the class was ending, I walked to my class real quick before I could go to the bus, and he was like, "Oh no, I gave it to other students who were in my class." And I was like, "What do you mean you gave them my pizza?" And he's like, "Well, I told you to pick it up at lunch. You didn't pick it up, so I gave it out to other people." Hence that, like, probably 2 or 3 hours after lunchtime. Lunch is usually like 12, and we leave like around 4-ish. It's like, was it at the end of the day? I don't remember. I just remember it was like around the end of the day, or I was like, "Oh, miss, can I go to this class real quick?" It was something like that. And yeah, I didn't get my pizza that day. I was very upset. That's what I'm like. It's a minor thing. It's just like, oh, it's like a Crimea River thing, but it still sucked. I didn't get my pizza. Anyways, transitioning into the good teacher experiences. 4th grade. I've always been a really big dragon fanatic, which is why I'm obsessed with How to Train a Dragon. I don't know if you could see him. I have a toothless Build-A-Bear that I've had since like the 4th, 5th grade. I have one, and can you see? Let me see. Let me see if I could change that right there is my senior homecoming mom, and Toothless is in the middle right there. Yep. Yeah. And I don't know if you have any of these type of books, but they're like, it was a dragonology book. I would probably put a picture somewhere. It was a dragonology book, and I was obsessed with that book so bad. And my teacher had a little mini library, and said mini library had a little like checkout thing. No one ever got to read the book because I always had it. I was a stingy bitch. I always had that book, and I was reading it constantly. But since I had that book so much, and I could take it home, and I would always take it home, and I would always show my mom, who also would love dragons. I showed it to my mom and never shut up about it. Again, I don't shut the fuck up. So I was talking nonstop about it, to the point my tío bought it for me, I think for my birthday, or just bought it for me as a gift. And I had it, and at the last day of school, my teacher gave it to me. And the reason why she had that book, because she also loved dragons. She had like a dragon statue and everything, and everyone knew she was obsessed with dragons. So the last day of school, like towards the end of the school year, she gave me that book. So I had 2 of those books, but now I have none of them because my brother had an incident with bed bugs recently, and we had to throw away a lot of his childhood toys and books that were also mine that I let him use. So we had to throw them away, and I'm very upset about that. But I had that one, and one of mythical creatures and everything, which I'll probably show right now also. Yeah, I had those books, and I was obsessed with them. I wanted the Egyptian one too, but I kind of grew out of that. Yeah, because 5th grade, fifth and 4th grade were the years I started obsessing over Greek mythology and Egyptian mythology. I can't speak ever. Fuck. But yeah. And then 8th grade is when I started getting good at math because of this specific teacher. And if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. Because I have fake cried in front of teachers to get extensions on homework. I was a good student, but sometimes I could be very bad and smart. But 8th grade was a really bad year, specifically because my mom was going in and out of the hospital. And since that was going on a lot, I was going through a bunch of depression and everything, because there wasn't a day where mom would go to the hospital and I would hear sirens, which was kind of traumatic already because of my grandpa's passing a bit. But it was just that nonstop, and I was overwhelmed, and I cried in front of this teacher talking about how overwhelmed I was and why I wasn't doing my assignments. And I just told everyone that, because people were seeing it and they were whispering, and I felt embarrassed because everyone was talking about how I was crying because I couldn't finish my assignment. And I didn't want to be that kid, so I just made this lie that I was crying in front of her to get sympathy, and I feel bad because I wasn't true. I wasn't using you. You were a good teacher. But yeah, she was a good teacher because I actually started understanding math because of her. Because my school was like divided, like in think about assassination classroom. Like where the A class was the very smart classes, and then the D class were the stupid classes, basically. I do terrible on testings, with testing in general, so I was in the D class, and so we got put in her class, or I think C and D get her class, and then so she actually helped me understand math, and it also helped with my my best friend at the time. He also did help me, but yeah. She did help me with learning, understanding certain things. I still suck kind of with it, but I was actually able to understand it. I was able to be decent at it now. And then just another time was just my 8th grade English teacher, who I love very deeply. He was such a nice student, nice teacher, and my class was just really bad. My class was terrible. So there was when we read Outsiders, and I loved that book, and I still love that book so deeply that my parents bought it for me for Christmas once, because that's how much I love that book, and I've read it 3 to 4 times already. I have bought myself a denim jacket base because I was obsessed with that book. And since that was he would say that he had one and he had a bunch of pins and patches all over it. So he's like, to start off with your pin collection on your jacket, he gave me a big like I think like this big, like around this big of a pin. If I find a picture, I'll put it up. But it said for the like Marvel marching or something like that society, and had to like, it would look like a vintage type of like the older versions of the Marvel comic heroes and everything, and there was a good flag, and he gave it to me, and he says, since I know you like Marvel so much, he gave it to me like towards the end of the year, I think, if I remember, or like mid-year, and I had it, and it was the first pen I had. I think it's still in my old denim jacket, but yeah, my new denim jacket looks completely different. But yeah, it was nice. I had some good teacher experiences, but majority of them are bad, and some of them are just not so memorable. I could probably just do a whole thing of my school experiences. I graduated barely last year, so they're still slightly fresh in my brain. Yeah. There was that ramble. It is 11:55. I need to go to sleep, but I'm not tired, so let's just, well, you're not gonna hear me through all of this, but you could, just gonna edit little pauses here and there. I'm just gonna close out this video then, I guess, because my mouth is extremely dry and I am running out of water. Anywho, if you like this video and you want me to do more of these, tell me. I don't know what I'll talk about, but I'll ramble about something. My YouTube, subscribe down there or wherever, I don't remember. My Twitch is here for any streaming whenever I'm able to stream, and then TikTok, where I'm gonna be posting clips whenever I can, or whenever I feel like it, I guess. And what else? I mean, you can follow my Instagram. There's nothing really much with my Instagram. I'm not posting as much on my stories as I used to anymore. That's a personal thing, but Instagram, here. That is all I have for today. Please subscribe. I'm begging. This is like my second video I'm gonna probably be posting. And if you really do actually like these videos, or if you liked anything that I mentioned in this, I could probably elaborate on other things, and I could probably answer them too. But yeah, this is goodbye. Well, not goodbye, but this is bye. This is the end of the video, basically.